Saludos amigos de Sensacional Sport, espero que se encuentren bien. Nos encontramos nuevamente en un episodio más de Hablando con esta serie de entrevistas donde repasamos la trayectoria, la carrera de los grandes boxeadores, ¿verdad? Del deporte del boxeo. En el día de hoy me encuentro con un ex campeón mundial, alguien que el mundo entero lo pudo reconocer más cuando peleó con Miguel Cotto allá en el 2012. I'm talking with No Doubt Austin Trout. Austin, thank you for your time, for accepting this interview. How do you feel today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Austin, the first time I saw you was 10 years ago in the fight between you and Miguel Cotto. What do you remember about that fight 10 years ago?
I remember there was, I always have nerves. I'm always nervous for every fight, and I was nervous for that fight too. But I remember it was a crazy kind of excitement. It was like anxiety, but more of an excitement kind of anxiety that I was feeling. It was just a weird, different kind of nerve that I was having that night. And I've been looking to capture that same moment back since.
You was a big Miguel Cotto fan before that fight?
Absolutely. He's still one of my favorite fighters. As a fan of boxing, you gotta love Miguel Cotto, and I advise everybody go back and watch Miguel, especially at 140, 147. He was a monster. You know, what I mean? Not to say he wasn't at 154 and 160 because he went on to be a 160-pound champ. He was just a monster in every weight division. Go check him out.
You
Legend. He's a Hall of Famer now.
yeah.
Congrats to Miguel for that.
You think that fight put you in the map worldwide?
Well, absolutely. No one really knew about me and until after I beat Miguel, because even when I was gonna fight Miguel, no one still really knew about me. So, I thank God for that night, December 1st, 2012.
Miguel Cotto in an interview said the following: I will share my victory and my defeat. That night, Austin Trout was better than me. What is your opinion about that?
Like a true champion, he is. He ain't make no excuses. He just gave credit where credit's due, and I respect that.
We will talk more about that fight. I wanted to start the interview. Who was your inspiration to enter the world of boxing?
My mother,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Yeah, she was a big boxing fan, and she would say things like, this is what real men do. It takes a real man to box. And, my father, I didn't grow up with my dad, so I figured, well, I guess I'll box. That'll be what real men do.
Who was your favorite boxer as a child?
My favorite fighter, I'd have to say, of course, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, who else my mom showed me? After I got older and I was able to really appreciate some of the fights and fighters, I love Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea, um, and I love Tito. And honestly, like one person that doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion, is Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah. Yes.
Not too many people are calling him for as pound for pound great of all times, and I think he is. He really was the complete fighter.
Yeah.
And, I watched a lot of Oscar. I think I was a little bit of a hater back coming up as a teenager in his prime. Because all the girls liked him, but boy, he could fight.
I'm Puerto Rican, and I see Oscar De La Hoya defeat Tito Trinidad, and it's hard for me to tell that, but it's true for me.
Yeah, he was a good fighter. But Trinidad beat Oscar.
But in your opinion, you think he beat De La Hoya?
Nah, not for real. I mean, that last round, I feel like that last round called it, and he kind of took off.
You was on 2004 U.S. National Amateur Champion. Can you talk me a little bit about your amateur career?
Yeah, man, I was blessed to have a good amateur career, and it was very important for just the experience that I ended up going through in the pros. That thank God it wasn't my first time being in those situations, and it was because of my amateur career. I only had one national title under my belt, but it was a good one. It was for
Yeah.
the 2004 Olympic qualifiers, which allowed me to partake in the Olympic tournament. I won the one bracket in the Olympic trials, which allowed me to fight in the Olympic box office, and I became the Olympic alternate, losing to Vanis March Roshan. I was close to being the Olympian, but not quite, didn't quite make it. However, I was able to go to two Athens, Greece, 2004 Olympics. I was there. I got to see all the things I could see, man. It was just an amazing time. Um, One of my best experience in life. Again, I thank God for that experience. After
Absolutely.
that, I was able to be on the international team where I got to travel and fight internationally, and I did pretty good. Beat a bronze medalist before, from Korea. I got to go to South Korea, got to go to Azerbaijan. I got to do quite a bit of traveling.
As amateur guy, are you ever visited fight here in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I would love to fight in Puerto Rico. I never had the chance. I got close. I went to
Never?
Trenton, Jersey. No, I never went to Port. Never been to Port. Well, no, I've been to Puerto Rico, but I never fought in Puerto Rico. And I love, one of my favorite places to go is San Juan. Um,
I'm living there.
there we live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love San Juan. I've been there plenty of times. Shout out to Miguel Ortega. He's got a good fighter out there in Puerto Rico.
You make your pro debut in 2005. 6 years later, you fight against the Canelo brother Rigoberto Alvarez. You won your first champion of the world.
In trying to go back and think, one thing I want to tell some fighters up and coming is to pay attention and soak up, the journey. The destination needs to be the focus, but don't miss the journey. Because I remember I was so focused and just kind of laser point that I almost, not quite, but almost missed all the memories that was going around me. And I remember going to Mexico because I was going to Mexico, and I'm from New Mexico, which is
Yeah.
in America, right next to Mexico, around the border. So I'm familiar with the culture and with the area. Although I've never been to Guadalajara, which means that it is, everywhere is different. All Mexico's not the same. So I was nervous going into enemy territory, and at this time, there was a pretty heavy cartel war that was happening. So it wasn't the safest, but nonetheless, the people treated us wonderful. They treated us great. With a lot of respect. Yeah, we got booed during the fight, but they treated us with respect and kindness. And we went in there, handled business. And honestly, it was my first fight in like 15 months. So it was a little hard to get in the rhythm, but
More
I
credit to that.
outclassed him, all 12 rounds. And with Canelo in his corner too, it was great.
In my personal opinion, we have to give you more credit in that victory because you fight it in the Alvarez country, Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. Not just in the country, in his home state, in his hometown.
You think it's a lot of pressure when you fight in the rival house?
Yes and no. And honestly, I did it so much that I honestly prefer it. I almost want to go and be in someone else's other territory because you have a lot of pressure, whereas you have a lot of things you're facing against. But as far as the pressure to perform wonderfully or anything like that, there's no pressure there. In fact, they want you to fail, and I love proving people wrong. Not saying I don't love a crowd that's pro track. I can always use that energy, but I almost prefer being the underdog.
You have been the underdog your boxing your whole boxing career?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
When you defeat the Canelo Alvarez brother, you see Canelo. Do you think from that moment that you will face him in the future?
I knew eventually he'd have to see me because I had no plans of going anywhere. So yes, I knew it was gonna come down to it, and and it did. I was able to manifest a lot of things that I wanted to happen, not in the way I wanted to happen, but nonetheless it happened.
After that fight, you defeat guys like David Lopez, Fran Laporto, and Delvin Rodriguez, the Dominican one. And in your fourth defense, you will face the best boxer of Puerto Rico and that time, Miguel Cotto. When the company offered that fight, who was your reaction?
Uh, I jumped outside, gave a big old shout. I was like, yes. Oh, they messed up. They messed up, and it's because I had a bad performance with Devin Rodriguez, and they thought it was easy money. I said they messed up. I got him. Oh, I got him. It's time to come on the scene. So I thank God for that opportunity. And again, like I said, I'm looking for that opportunity again. I'm still training. I'm still fighting. I still love this game, and I'm still pretty good at it. So
Yeah.
I think we can do it again.
I have some question about after and before the Miguel Cotto fight because you have a biggest one of the biggest problem in that fight because in the fight the company never treat you like a world champion. And my question is that at some time affect you in your camp?
Yeah, yes and no. We should, but I say yes, but I say that shamefully because we should have never let that affect me or what I think about myself. I've always been about proving people wrong, and I should have just proved them wrong. But I had so much faith in trust that they believed in me as much as I did, and really, I don't. They didn't, and I did let that affect me, but. I believe in me now. I don't care who believes in me, damn it.
And I want to tell you something. Your story is very similar in my case. Uh, Biggest underdog, but you still winning achievement. You won the world champion, but I understand that Miguel Cotto name was first because it's the biggest star not only in Puerto Rico, also in New York. Yeah, his
Yeah.
great career, but I don't understand something. They left your family out in the wedding. Can you explain me a lot better about
Yeah,
that?
they didn't allow my people anybody that was wearing a Team Trout shirt or anything to represent Trout, they didn't allow in the weigh-ins. They would kept them out and they just kept them in the hall. And I was like, that's what I mean. It was for the cameras because they wanted to act like I didn't have nobody there. That was honestly that was Golden Boy shenanigans for real. Because that's who was it was Miguel Cotto Promotions and Golden Boy. So um, yeah, and that really pissed me off. They kind of robbed them of the whole experience.
Can you do something about that
No,
to
there's
get?
not really much that I could have done. They're not gonna fine him for doing that. You know what I mean? If there's anything I could have done, it should have been while I was there on stage, but I didn't know it was happening. You know what I'm saying? I just knew I didn't see them. I'm like, where they at? Maybe that should have been, the point where I said, "Where's my family at?" Stop the whole show. But that's when I could have done something. By the time I was out and realized what happened, it's too late.
In a great performance about you defeat Miguel Cotto. What is the satisfaction to defeat a legend like Miguel Cotto?
The satisfaction was huge, and the reason being is because nobody believed I could do it. Everybody thought I was a stepping stone for Miguel Cotto, but it was the other way around. And I had a complete confidence. I had no doubt the whole time. So it was very it was very satisfying. And I asked God to make sure that I accept this victory with humility, because I didn't want to take it away. Even though it was the next fight, I lost it, but nonetheless,
And we have
at least I got it.
and we have to highlight something, because you was the first boxer to defeat Miguel Cotto in New York, in Madison Square Garden, outside
That's
of
right.
Puerto Rico.
The first one, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that was a big, major accomplishment. I don't know if you remember, Paulie Malignaggi kept talking about, oh, fighting Cotto in the garden is like fighting the devil in hell, and he kept just hyping up. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, the Puerto Ricans brought it. They brought the energy that night. All anti-Trout, but I shut him up. It was a good night. And again, that's one thing that I can say about the Puerto Rican fandom, is that they give respect where respect's due. Whether they like you or not, they'll give you your flowers. They give you your credits. So much respect after that.
After this great victory, the world of boxing treat you a lot of better than that fight of Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, it was a good fight, and I was hoping to get another good fight. That's why I called Canelo out next.
But the world of boxing treat you a lot of better, treat you like a world champion that you was.
Oh, you mean the WBA?
Yeah, because in that fight with Miguel Cotto, they underestimate you.
Yeah,
But in
And
later about that,
fight, I understand what you're saying. So yes, after that fight, they gave me a little more respect.
yeah.
As a champion, they did. I'll just leave it at that.
It's true. I wanted to tell the boxing community, it's true that you have the Miguel Cotto glove signed.
Yes, man. So for the Showtime, when we was doing the promos and filming a couple of the commercials, they had us go in this room, me and Miguel, and we had to sign like 250 gloves, right? And so I would sign mine, and then he would sign his, and then we'll switch, about half of them. So as signing, I tell Miguel, I said, all right, Miguel, I took one of the gloves he already signed. I said, Miguel, you ain't signed this for me, but I'm taking it, and I'm gonna tell everybody you signed this glove for me. And he's like, you got it, my friend. So I put my signature on, and I still have that glove to this day. And Miguel, again, he inadvertently signed that glove for me. Yeah.
That is great. My friend George have a question. How do you feel? How do you feel fighting Miguel Cotto in Madison Square Garden, which by many people, Cotto was considered the king of Madison Square Garden? And what is the pressure? The pressure do you feel knowing that you have to crown against you?
Yeah. So the crowd was a major factor in the whole thing, because there's times where he wasn't hitting me, but he was throwing, and they were cheering. And I was afraid that if I don't shut the crowd up, that's gonna affect my judging. So he was. I was very nervous, but it was more like anxious to prove that I could do this, and I just I knew what was going to happen, and when it started to unfold and how I knew it was going to unfold, it just confirmed everything that I worked for was true.
Your next rival was Saul Canelo Alvarez, an unification bout, WBA, WBC belts. You lost against him by unanimous decision, but I saw the judges scorecard, and I'm disagree. I don't know if you saw. I'm boxing amateur referee, and my card was 114 113 for Canelo. If you see the fight, you disagree with the judges scorecard, because I don't know. I'm disagree with that card.
I disagree with I definitely disagree with the 120, 112 scorecard. Stanley Christian Dulu. You know, it was a close fight. I don't want to really cry over spilt milk because no one wants to hear that. Um, it was a good fight, and I don't think they gave me the credit that I feel like I deserve. And I could leave it at that. I do know one thing I'll complain about that open scoring was bullshit, and I'll never again agree to some open scoring. Um, when they told me my scores after the fourth round, the whole fight changed.
Because I think you was very close to win that fight against
I
Canelo.
thought I was too. I thought I was close to winning that fight, and it was obvious that they weren't going to allow me to win it fairly because in the rounds I was doing, the first 4 rounds they said I didn't win any rounds on none of the judges score cap, and I'm like, bro, none. And about the 8th round they gave me maybe. So that's how you. I mean, it was definitely closer than that.
What do you will do? What do you will have to do additional to take that victory in that night?
Minus the open scoring, had I stuck to the game plan that I started to accomplish in the first 4 rounds, I would have just pulled away. I had him reaching, I had him falling into traps, and then the open scoring came, and he knew he didn't have to do nothing but stand up, and he won. So that was the biggest thing.
But the real,
but you never know now. It's the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I should have never agreed to open scoring.
but the real fans, the real journalists see you very close in that fight, and
It's a close
you
fight.
do a great work with Canelo.
Thank you, and it makes me look better that he keeps knocking everybody else out, aside from Bivol. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In your opinion, right now, Canelo is one of the best pound for pound right now.
Yeah, definitely.
After this fight, you face guys like Erislandy Lara, the Charlotte brothers, and many more. You won your last fight weeks ago. At this moment, are you satisfied with your boxing career?
No, not yet. And not to sound ungrateful, but I feel like I still got more to do, more to give. Another good fight in me, another title shot in me. All roads lead to Charlo right now. Jamel Charlo got all the belts. But even Tim Tszyu, who's the #1 spot, if I could get that fight at the end of next month, I could fight Charlo for all the belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still have plans, but God willing, we take it day by day. I have plans, and I work on those plans every day. But I also listen to everything that my body's saying and my mind is saying, day by day.
You think you have something to do more in boxing? You still got it so much?
Yeah. I still got a lot more to do in boxing.
And
I can do it.
Yeah, that is great to hear that. I will ask so many questions very fast. The fattest rival you face it?
Toughest would be Jarrett Hurd. Just the best, most talented will be Erislandy Lara.
The strong and puncher?
Jamel Charlo.
The most difficult opponent?
Erislandy Lara.
Of your defeats, would you like to have a rematch?
Canelo, of course.
Canelo.
Hurd and Charlo, Jamel Charlo. I would like. Oh, and with Terrell Gaucher, I like that rematch too.
Favorite boxer of Puerto Rico of all time?
It's got to be Tito. Trinidad, man. I grew up with Trinidad.
Boxer that you wanted to fight, but it never happened.
There's been a lot of those. Anthony Mundine, Liam Smith, but you know that's still a possibility. You know. Yeah, I guess those two for now. Floyd Mayweather.
Good one.
Yeah.
Taking the boxing apart, you will enter to the bare knuckle. Talk me about that. You will make your debut in bare knuckle. Talk me about that.
Yeah, so February 17th, I make my bare knuckle debut. Very excited to kind of get back to my roots, to be honest, because that's how I really got started with fighting. Was fighting in the street. It's gonna be a big day, big fight for New Mexico, where I'm from. I can't really announce the name of who I'm fighting, but he's a big name in the UFC, and he's a contender legend, especially in New Mexico. So February 17th, the announcement should be happening, fairly soon.
Austin, I have a great day talking about you of boxing. Any advice to the new generation of boxing?
Yeah, perfect your craft. Work on that every day, and the money will come. Focus on the passion, the money will come. I promise. And because I wasn't supposed to make no money, I wasn't supposed to be a champion, none of that. But I did it anyway because I love the game, and the game finally showed love back. It broke my heart, but it gave me a lot of love too. It still does.
Something to achieve.
Yeah, world title, baby. I'm gonna give me a belt.
Austin,
world title, and then give me a hell of a fight, a big fight.
I appreciate your time. Thanks for accepting this interview. One final message to all the fans in Puerto Rico, around the world, that are watching you right now.
Hey, listen, I want to tell the whole island of Puerto Rico, when I was there, you guys showed me nothing but love and respect and courtesy. And I'm forever indebted, because you guys could have made my trip hell. I appreciate y'all for that. And I appreciate the way you guys stand up for your fighters. And the way you love your fighters. And I hope America gets on board with that. Viva
Austin,
Puerto Rico.
Exactly. Austin, you have a lion heart. Thank you for the interview, and hopefully see you very soon.
Yeah, see you soon, man. Later.
Thank you.